How are you doing today? I'm having a great day. Do you know why? Because I know why. But do you know why? Because God woke me up this morning. So I'm having an amazing day. Thank you, God. So today I want to talk to you guys about being Mexican and not knowing Spanish. I understand more than I can speak. Like, I can understand when my abuelito tell me something, but if they're talking really, really fast, and as you know, all Mexicans talk really, really fast, especially when they're speaking Spanish. I didn't grow up with my mom and my grandma speaking Spanish. Like, they spoke it to each other to talk about something important around us without us knowing what they're talking about, you know, that kind of stuff. And it was cool. But it's like I wanted to learn too, but because of the town we grew up in, it prevented us from speaking Spanish because they didn't like our kind there. So that being said, we lost it. My sister used to know a lot. I don't really know my brother, and my mom said I used to speak Spanish a lot when I was younger. And then I lost it because of where we grew up. And it just sucks. Like, I really wish like I said earlier, I can understand more than I can speak. And being a Mexican American, my dad is from, I think Monterrey, Mexico. And it's funny because some of the words that I say in Spanish sound a little bit better than what I can actually speak. But I can't roll my R's to save my life. I can say it when I'm saying a Spanish word, and it's funny, and of course I get made fun of. I hated growing up, and especially being a teenager, and my abuelita would always ask, like, hey, mijita, how are you doing, and how's school, and all that. And for me, I had to get one of my cousins. I'm like, hey, yo, cuz, come over here so I can talk to abuelita. Okay, cool, yeah. And they would tell me, Ariel, you need to learn how to speak Spanish. And I was like, well, what do you want from me? I didn't grow up where you guys grew up. I grew up in a town where they didn't like Mexicans. They didn't like our skin color. You know, it's funny now that I think about it that their kids don't know Spanish. They know Spanish, but their kids don't speak Spanish. And it's funny because my brother's son is half Mexican and half white, right? The coolest little kid ever. He's goofy and funny. He reminds me of my brother. Anyways, he speaks Spanish very, very well. He has the Weddle accent to his Spanish, which is hilarious sometimes, but I love it, and I'm so jealous. His dad and my brother's baby mama put him in dual language when he was in elementary, which means they speak Spanish on some days, and on other days they speak English, and then they go back and forth with their teacher. And I thought that was so cool and amazing, and I was just so proud that someone knew Spanish besides my mom and my grandma and my sister. And I love when my abuelita and my abuelito tell my little nephew to come over and come talk to them, because I think it's just so beautiful. And he gets nervous, of course, but I just think it's beautiful. And my abuelita and my abuelito are just so proud that the whitest of their great-grandchildren, he knows Spanish, better Spanish than any of the other grandchildren that are all full-blood Mexican. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of funny. But growing up and not speaking Spanish, it does hold you back. And you're Mexican, it does hold you back. And people do tell you things like, but you're Mexican, you should know Spanish. Well, that's great, but you didn't grow up like I did, you know? So people telling me, like I said, you didn't have to grow up the way we grew up. We didn't, you know, they took away something that now I wish I stayed with and not let that go. But when, you know, you're young and you're dumb and you do retarded things, and I regret it now, because now you get paid more to know Spanish. You get paid more to know Spanish and English, and you get paid more to know different languages when that wasn't a thing back in the day, you know? and it's just crazy how the world has changed and how things are different. And people are like, oh, well, we give the job you can get an extra, like, let's just say like $5 or $6, and that's a decent job for knowing English and Spanish. Like, isn't that crazy? When people would look at you and just look at you because you're speaking Spanish to someone, and they just look at you like, you know, type thing. Or some people would, like, I knew this lady, she was a volunteer with my mom, and she was a white lady, and because she worked, I guess, because of where you volunteer at, there was more Mexicans around than there were in the little town that I was in. So she knew Spanish, and I'm looking at her, and my mom was like, well, give her some and give me some people. And I go, okay. So I, not knowing she knew Spanish, I was giving all the Mexican people, which were more than half the people that she was helping, and I was giving the white lady, all the white people, which wasn't that many. And she came up to me and she's like, hey, Ariel, you can give me some more people. I can have them in my line. And I said, oh, okay. So I would ask the people, like, do you speak Spanish or English? Like, can you understand English? And some of them would tell me, oh, poquito, And I'm like, okay, no problem. So then I would send them to her. And the first people that she talked to, she just automatically started speaking Spanish. And I was so amazed, because I was like, dang, she knows Spanish. She's freaking killing the game right now. She is killing it. Didn't even know she had big glasses, like the Coca-Cola bottle glasses, and she's just speaking Spanish like no one's business. And I was so amazed, and I was just so jealous at the same time. And now it's funny. It's just the way everything's changed. It's funny. I think it's hilarious, because they took something away from me that I enjoyed. And I got to speak to my abuelita apparently when I was younger a lot. And now that I lost it, it sucks, and it's kind of embarrassing, because you have to tell people, oh no, I don't understand Spanish, I'm sorry. Because if I try to help someone, it's so different, and it's just crazy how I have to tell them, yeah, I don't understand Spanish, I'm sorry. And that just sucks. And like, people just lose, like, they just look at you like, really? You're Mexican and you don't know Spanish. Wow. So that's my story for today. Always remember, do you, boo, and you will be happy too. I promise.